Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're diving back into the 240SX and kicking off the series on completing the car. I'm actually waiting on my buddy Derrick. He has a local business called Dent Repair, and that's going to be the first step in getting this car ready for paint. This is a really good condition 240 overall, but every single panel is pinged left and right. It's an absolute mess. Derrick has been pulling dents for many years. He's very good at it, but his specialty is paintless dent repair. So even though I will be repainting this car the original color, midnight blue pearl, I want to get this thing as straight as possible so we have minimal filler work. All of Derrick's contact info for Dent Repair can be found in the description box below, so definitely reach out because he also travels. In the meantime, I'm working on trying to make his life a little bit easier. I wanted to go ahead and pull the doors. I've got the driver's door off right now, just so he can get in there and focus on, some of the really bad spots. The quarters are gonna be really fun. I gotta pull the interior panels and all that kind of stuff too, which a lot of it has to come out anyway, so we're knocking out a bunch of things all at the same time. But I'm really excited to actually watch the process of paintless dent repair. It's always been a fascinating thing to me, and it really takes a lot of practice and a lot of skill, so this should be interesting. Before we get started, I'd like to extend a huge thanks to Autoleap for sponsoring this series. This has been a long time coming. I think I've been building this car going on 7 years now, so seeing it come to completion is almost surreal. But Autoleap is awesome. They have a unique shop management software system that I've been using for the better part of the last year. It's absolutely streamlined the way things operate and has removed a lot of stress off of my mind. So I don't have to keep so many things juggling around. I don't have quite so many papers and stuff, so I'm able to keep track of customers, invoices, and it's very useful for the huge amount of YouTube projects that I have. But we'll dive into that a little bit more later in the video. Just wanted to give a big thanks once again. It really means a lot. Derrick just wrapped up with all of the dent pulling and the car looks amazing. Never in my life did I think that all of those dents could be pulled the way he pulled them. This car is slick as glass. Aside from the various paint chips and scratches and imperfections and all that stuff, it looks incredible. It's going to save so much time when it comes to bodywork and paint. Now I'm going to continue on stripping down the car and see what else I can get myself into. Once again, a huge thanks to Autoleap for supporting the channel. Between filming my personal builds and working on client builds, our calendar stays pretty crazy. Thankfully, Autoleap has enabled us to better streamline client scheduling and communication to make things a little less hectic around the shop. We can push out automatic text and email notifications for upcoming service and install appointments, as well as quickly chat about any questions or updates as needed. Autoleap's appointment reminder tool has been especially useful as well to help reduce no-shows and keep the shop moving forward like a well-oiled machine. So in doing a proper restoration and paint job, it's always a really good idea to get all of the glass pulled. That way you don't end up having any weird paint lines or any weather stripping getting messed up and so on and so forth. We've got Larry out today from Poff's Auto Glass. They're out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. They're going to be doing all of the glass work on the car, replacing this and that, and getting me a new windshield because this one is absolutely destroyed. I've also got some pretty cool things in store that I'm really looking forward to showing you guys. Those that have messed with these cars knows how much of a pain in the butt it is to get the quarter glass out. They're completely urethaned in place and there's plastic set clips, and if you're not careful, don't take your time, and you just flat out don't know what you're doing, it is very easy to break these windows, and they are getting harder and harder to come by in decent shape. One of the biggest issues, aside from them being discontinued, is that if your weather stripping gets damaged or goes bad, you can't just replace it. You can't order the weather stripping by itself. It came bonded to the glass from the factory. So if your weather stripping gets damaged, you pretty much need to find a whole nother piece of glass with good weather stripping attached to it. So it's not just a matter of not breaking the glass when you pull it off, but don't damage the weather stripping as well. And Larry did a phenomenal job taking those things out. But even with all of that work, that glass is not going back on this car. I've got something else that's special. Oh yes, genuine 180SX quarter glass straight from Japan. The 180SX glass was the final thing to have a 100% authentic 180SX Type X conversion, with the exception of the hood and the wheels, of course. It has taken me years to put all of these parts together and to track certain things down that just flat out are not in production anymore. So having the last piece of the puzzle right there is gonna be amazing. Let's go ahead and mock one up on the car right quick, just for fun. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to have found a pair of this glass, because they are super hard to find. And even better, the weather stripping on it is near perfect. It's actually in better shape than the ones that I pulled off the car, so it worked out great. The next thing I'm going to be figuring out is the installation of these R32 GTR front bumper vents. You can actually still buy them through Nissan, which is pretty cool. I want to mount them in the Type X front fascia so I can get additional airflow to my intercooler and radiator. This turned out sweet. It's going to make the front end even more aggressive, and it's going to provide even more function by allowing all of that extra cool air to get right where it needs to get. Now, there is going to be some body work that's going to have to be done up here, because the vents actually have a slight bend to them that isn't in the 180 bumper, so we're going to have to make sure that all matches up, because at the end of the day, I want it to look like it would have come that way from the factory. And unfortunately, I've created a new problem, which some of you probably already guessed. Those vents interfere directly with the bash bar that I've got in the car. So I'm either going to have to get a different one, modify this one, or just figure something out. At this point, it's me being picky and wanting to do all this extra stuff. You know, the final stages of the build always seem like they take the longest, but whatever I do up here, I want to improve the setup that I already have. I'm contemplating redoing my intercooler, air location and my piping and stuff like that. That's just, mine's running a mile a minute. I've got all sorts of cool ideas. I want to do the car justice, and I want it to be just right. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you're as excited as I am to finally see more progress on this car. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to, and make sure that notification box is selected, because there's a lot of cool content planned in the coming months. Also, don't forget to leave a like below, because it really helps the videos a lot. A big thanks once again to Autoleap for sponsoring this series. I can't wait for you guys to join me on this journey and finally completing this car. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.